period of time, we saw that is within the MSM sector, for almost more than a decade, transgender issues were submerged. So even transgender were considered under the larger umbrella of MSM. There was a lot of stigma and discrimination for transgender within the homosexual ambit also, because when somebody is, because that time the transgender were also only considered as somebody who is a hijra and who is begging on the street, or a hijra who probably is doing sex work. At that time, sex work begging considered to be very not something which is kind of respectable profession. That's the reason why these people used to also first of all taken outside the ambit of MSM sector, and there was a potential struggle and there was understanding. So the trans movement started coming together, and they started working around their own issues, and they worked around having a legal process and moving forward with because there are two things which were separating these two things, two issues together. One was related to sexuality and sexual identity, and the other one was about gender identity. And those were the two things that reason why they were not being able to. They were part of the larger movement, but they were not being able to connect with each other. And over the period of time, the struggle happened. Fortunately, NALSA judgment came out, and NALSA judgment specifically talks about that you will be given an acknowledgement to identify yourself as a transgender, third gender person. Now there is a difference of opinion within transgender community also for that. One is that who is the first gender and who is second gender for the people. Why should we consider the third gender? Some transgender say that we don't belong to the gender, we don't belong to the transgender, we want to be identified as a women. Or some trans men say that we want to be identified as a man. Why should we kept into the third gender view? So there is a lot of different opinions about that also. But the NALSA judgment for the first time talked about safety, talks about Yogikarta principle, talked about protection from the legal rights, also talked about equal opportunities for the transgenders. Now the distinction between that, at the same time the Section 377 case came, and there they said sexual minority is a minuscule community and they should not be talking about it. Now there are a lot of trans activists who actually misunderstood that entire judgment and started talking within the larger community, saying that is now we are liberated, let's not talk about Section 377. If we talk about Section 377, then the problem is that whatever we have will be also taken away from us. So there was, for some amount of time, there was huge amount of confusion within the transgender and MSM movement about this thing, that is we are legal now, we don't want to be associated with the Section 377. A lot of these trans activists forgot that is actually first person who was convicted for the Section 377 was a trans identified person. And sexual behavior is very, very important aspect which was kept under the carpet when they gave the NALSA judgment. And that's the reason why it took some time for these two movements to come together. Fortunately now, a lot of trans people are part of this movement. We are fighting neck to neck for the entire discussions about Section 377 and sexual identity and sexual behavior, because a lot of these, this entire movement is not going to be fruitful if all of us are not together on this. If you look at, one of the things that I just want to highlight over here, that we are being really, really progressive in this thing on the NALSA judgment. Because across the globe, when you go outside, you don't see such a kind of a progressive judgment which is being given. I still struggle when I travel internationally because my passport says I'm a transgender. And when I go to other countries, they have only binary genders, male and a female, and they struggle to understand where even progressive countries like America have not been able to give those kind of things. Thailand, where you have a transgender hub, sex worker of transgender is considered to be the most lucrative business on the structure. There also the transgender having given just a legal right as male or lady boys. Pakistan does have a different, within that sections also different kind of sexual gender identities, where they say transgenders who are castrated, transgenders who are non-castrated, and other related matters. There are so many issues which are around sexual minority as a whole that binds each of us together, and I think we need to identify those issues, we need to work around. What is important at this point of time is the youth involvement. What is important at this point of time that we learn from the past and we use right now different channels that we have it across. I feel HIV AIDS now is not the only opportunity that we have. in our hand at this point of time. We are talking about flash mobs, we are talking about film festivals, we are talking about engaging on various stakeholders in active engagement. We are trying to talk about being part of the entire influential structures where we are politicians, where we are lawyers, where we are doctors, and to take a lot of changes into that aspect. And larger part of discussion is also coming out and creating an awareness and acceptance within the larger society. The change that starts from the home is what is needed at this point of time. If all of us who have belonged to a sexual minority keep hiding up behind our walls and saying that it doesn't affect, if as far as I have to hide, I don't have to be careful about this. Unless you don't come out and unless you don't start talking about these issues very, very prominently and eloquently, I don't think the larger society is going to change. So if you really want to create this change, the change has to begin from your home. The struggle for trans communities has not ended. April 2014 answer judgment has come, but you are all aware that till date we don't have employment opportunities. Till date we don't have HR policy conducive. Till date we do not have entrepreneurship for transgenders. Till date we do not have enough social entitlements. So right now also when I struggle to have my social entitlement, I still struggle to have a housing. So I may work at the international level, but still in Delhi I live in Islam area. Because nobody wants to have a hijra as a neighbor in their own society. That's a sheer fact, because we are living in the society which is hypocritical and stigmatized. So if you really want homophobia to go away, if you really want transphobia to go away, you have to bring that change, and that change will happen within you. Thank you.